After an off week for the holidays, the 1-Up Superstar Series is back at Denver Motorsports Park for 50 laps around this high-speed, high-aero 2.25-mile oval for the 12th race of the 2023 1-Up Superstar Series season. And alongside me to bring you all the action once again is James Ellison for this main event of the weekend. And it's always a pleasure to be back at Denver. This track is very fast, very wide. A lot can happen on it. We've seen crazy things happen in this event last year and the year prior. So I'm sure this race is going to excite as well.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm sure our they would love to say that it'll be fun to race. Like we've always. Things can happen. Let's just hope that nothing serious happens this time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun for the 50 laps we have in store for the 42 drivers on the grid right now, as we can now look at the starting lineup for today's 50-lap race. Just over 100 miles of competition here today. Nick Ortiz puts his Ford on pole position ahead of another Ford and Jeffrey Finguy. They lock out the front row for the Blue Oval. Roberto Crown Jr. in his long bid to get his first career win lines up third. Mark Davey in another Ford fourth. Stephen Gale rounds out the top five just ahead of the highest qualifying rookie of the race, AJ Jones, in sixth. But with that being said, we've got a lot of big names starting in the midfield and some even starting way out back. So there's a lot still to happen in this race, but this is an opportunity for these guys to make gains to move forward.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of work for some people. We look at the field and you see the number of drivers. Justin Hutchinson's going to have to come from back the way. Dylan Young, Aaron Hall. I mean, granted, he's always contending for top tens, but he's had a lot of good runs. And I mean, yeah, Patrick Smith. Quite a few people here have a lot of work to do.
But that's just one of the many challenges these drivers have to face, and I'm sure they'll be up to the task this time around. So with that being said, we have 42 drivers ready to take the green flag here at Denver, and we are ready to bring you that action. 50 laps from Denver Motorsports Park. This is the 1-Up Superstar Series, and the green flag is mere moments from dropping on the field once again to get this round of racing underway. As the pace car pulls onto pit road, Nick Ortiz and Jeffrey Finguy head towards the restart zone with big ambitions for this race. Coming now into the zone, the field leaves in the hands of Nick Ortiz. The green flag's out, and already we're seeing a lot of fanning out before they've even gotten to the start-finish line. Ortiz leads at the stripe, but there's a lot of contesting of positions going on further back in the field.
Yeah, already, and they're seeing right here Stephen Gale making moves to the middle here, trying to gain some spots. You got all over the racetrack. You're seeing a lot going on already.
But smooth sailing so far for Nick Ortiz. He's led the opening half lap. Down in the turn 3 he goes, with Jeffrey Finguy in hot pursuit. Roberto Crown Jr. settles into third. Duke Anzac's making gains from his starting position of 9th. He's making gains up into the top 5 already, is that blue and white 83. But off of turn 4, for the first time, Nick Ortiz leads lap 1, ahead of a side-by-side battle for second.
Yeah, Crown, we talk about it, and unfortunately, we're gonna keep talking about until he gets there. He's hungry. He wants that win, and he's working his way forward early on. But that doesn't mean it's gonna work out. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we've seen so many times Crown has thought he had a race in his grasp, and then it all got stolen away. Will today be today? We're about 48 laps from finding out the answer. But coming through 3 and 4 for the second time in this race, Ortiz has grown a pretty big lead as Crown and Finguy have been fighting out for second. Settle that match up in favor of the 81 Toyota.
Yeah, and then for a little while there, it looked like Emma Carter was going to follow through and move up to third from starting 7th. She's settling in right now and has got her hands full with Anzac.
Yeah, looks like the inside line was the place to start, though, because you can see behind Duke Anzac, Lane Sanders in the 87. He started back in 11th. He's now knocking on the door of the top 5 in 6th. A.J. Jones slipped back to 7th from his starting spot of 6th. Mark Davey slipped all the way back to 8th when he started 4th. And then Brock and Vargas complete the top 10. As we complete the 3rd lap, Ortiz continues to run out front. However, Finn Guy looks like he's gotten back past Crown, and they've both gained on the 91 a little bit.
I've got a feeling that 92 and 81 might be just a little bit better than the 91 early on. We'll have to see here. Well, actually, we don't have to see. We're seeing it right now.
For sure. Finn Guy and Crown are all over the back of Ortiz right now. 40 lead of the race. And Finn Guy puts the bumper to the back of the 91. That's not something we often see on a high-speed oval like this. But Finn Guy wisely backs out of that, avoids calamity early on. But he's going to give up the 2nd spot to Roberto Crown Jr. once again. And that all allows Ortiz to keep the lead for the moment.
And it brought Emma Carter right back into the picture of this little battle, and it looks like she might actually, at least for the moment, get an edge on Finn Guy for 3rd. We see Lane Sanders has moved past Anzac for 5th.
Yeah, this is a great run for that 87. Remember, he got his best finish of last season here. He finished 4th that day. Let's see if he can improve upon that today. It's going to be interesting to see it, but we still have a lot of racing to go. We're coming to 45 to go this time. But Crown and Finn Guy continue to have their private battle for 2nd. That allows Ortiz to keep the lead. But I have a feeling you're right. They at least this 81, and maybe the 92 as well, definitely faster at this stage.
Yeah, they've got that early run speed at the moment, but long runs, especially in races where there's plenty of green flag runs, you have to be able to have a car that can hold on. If you get an early lead, you have to be able to hold on to it, and unfortunately right now it doesn't look like Ortiz is going to be able to hold on to it.
Will Roberto Crown Jr. get the lead going into turn 3? It looks like he will. Move the 81 to the point for the first time on the 6th lap. As now Ortiz has to deal with fighting Jeffrey Finn Guy. That is the battle for 2nd. But off for turn 4 to complete lap number 6, we got a new leader in town, and it is Roberto Crown Jr. at the front of the field once again.
Yeah, he's up there and he wants to stay up there. And looking back here, we see Emma Carter under fire from Sanders. He's got a pretty good dodge early on here, so we'll see what happens.
And thinking about sticking his nose up the middle is that Chevy of A.J. Jones in the 31. We've got 2 Team Duke cars in the top 10 early on. Jones in 6th, Anzac slipping back a little bit to 7th, but still doing a really good job for this freshman team out of the Chevrolet camp. However, they've got a lot to do if they're going to get to the front of the field, because right now Roberto Crown Jr. is running a torrid pace out front, stretching his advantage just a little bit over Ortiz and Finn Guy, who have picked up the battle for 2nd.
Yeah, I don't think this battle is going to end anytime soon, unless, of course, Finn Guy just gets quite a run or, like, sends it into one of the turns and it sticks. But talk about Crown, he's not really pulling too far away, but he's certainly not got to deal with them on his bumper right now.
And we hate to announce, but already we had our first retiree. And can this 55 of Chase Chris catch a break in this mid portion of the season? He has succumbed to engine failure once again here. This time he barely even completed 1 lap before it expired. So heartbreak for the Chase Chris team in that 55, but I hope they'll be able to gather it back up and get ready for Road 1 next time out, because that is just heartbreak to happen again and again to that 55 team. First, it was a crash in Mexico City, then 2 engine failures in a row.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that Mexico City incident. That's what started it, and, well, honestly, there was hope for 3rd time's a charm, maybe 4th time's a charm at Road 1, hopefully.
I guess we'll find out then, won't we? But back at the front of the field, it continues to be Crown ahead of Ortiz. Finn Guy is slipping back a little bit in 3rd. Then you have to go quite a ways back to find Carter and A.J. Jones battling it out for the 5th spot, with Lane Sanders not too far behind. It looks like the front of the field's gone single file for the most part as we approach the 1/5 distance mark in this race.
Yeah, you talk about single file. I'm pretty sure Ortiz is getting ready to make it unsingle file here shortly. Then again, Finguy and Carter were up on the high side, so it wasn't quite all in one line.
No, but we haven't seen any side by side, but here we might see it. Here comes Ortiz once again putting the bumper to the back of the 81, moving him up the racetrack in 3 and 4. But I think Crown's going to get the momentum off the top of the racetrack, and he should be able to clear the 91 for the position.
And he does, at least for the moment. That 81, like we were talking about, it's pretty strong in the early run, but we've got pit stops that'll eventually determine some of this, depending on strategy. But for now, it's looking like the field's just settling down for the most part. Maybe I spoke too soon here.
As we've got a condensed battle for 4th between Carter, Jones, Sanders, and you look further back, Mark Davey and William Brock starting to stick their noses into the picture. 5 cars under a blanket for 4th place. This is certainly what you want to see on the aero-dependent racetracks, as cars jockeying for position not only at the start of the race, but well into a run as well.
And how about William Brock? Looking back, his teammates didn't exactly have the best of starting positions, but he's carrying the banner right now and doing a real good job.
Yeah, he's doing a great... Oh, Carter up the racetrack! And she's going to lose a ton of momentum up on the top. She's going to lose at least 2 positions, one to AJ Jones, one to Lane Sanders, but hopefully she'll be able to tuck in right behind the 87, and she does so. Great work from the 70 driver.
Yeah, that just gonna have to. She's just gonna have to gather back up and put an effort to it, and see if she can't regain those spots. But who knows? We still got a long ways to go.
And look at this train of cars from 4th all the way back to about 12th on the racetrack. We've got like 8 or 9 cars going strong here in this battle for position. It's incredible to look at. Meanwhile, the top 3 are starting to pull away from this group. We got 9 cars in the battle for 4th place, and they're all trying to chase down the 3 leaders who are starting to stretch their legs out front.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a car coming in the picture here that I didn't see in the beginning because he started 17th. I'm seeing Miles Mashburn starting to stick his nose into the picture here. These three, maybe even 4 or 5, keep battling it out. He might be able to capitalize and gain a few spots.
Absolutely. It's not out of the realm of possibility to see that happen. But at the front of the field, Roberto Crown Jr. continues to lead the way. He's got Nick Ortiz behind him, Jeffrey Finguy behind him, and we're on lap 14, so we're about 8 to 10 laps from the round of pit stops starting. So these guys have noticed a significant amount of fall off, but those tires still have a little life left in them. Let's see what they can do with it.
We'll see. And Finguy's decided he's not going to wait on Ortiz to make the move. He wants to get by that 81, and he wants to get by him now.
Absolutely. Jeffrey Finguy off of 4, swoops past Nick Ortiz to move up into the 2nd spot, but the 91's fighting back on the top of the racetrack. That's going to allow Crown some breathing room to drive off into the distance. Finguy continues to send it on Nick Ortiz through 1 and 2. I think this time Nick Ortiz decided enough was enough and to let the 92 through.
It's better to wait and try again later. Maybe wait until the pit stops are cycled through and hope to still be in a position to be able to get up there with fresh tires and have something to challenge if the strategy doesn't get him to the lead.
Because remember, the undercut is extremely powerful here. We saw it yesterday, and these cars do fantastically on fresh tires. They wear by about a second to a second and a half per fuel run. So getting on the fresh tires as soon as possible will definitely help your cause. As looks like AJ Jones and Lane Sanders and Emma Carter, they've all started to chase down the top 3. Now it's a 6-car battle for the lead.
Maybe for 3rd place at the moment, but if these 4 can rally back up there to Crown and Finguy, maybe we'll be able to see a real interesting battle here. But it's interesting enough already as Finguy goes to the inside of Crown.
Trying to make the move stick, but I think Crown's going to have the momentum off the top of the racetrack to make that momentum stick, and he does. So keep Crown in the lead of the race to lead lap 16. He has led about 12 laps of this race so far. Nick Ortiz led the opening 5, but As things run right now, Crown is looking to be in great position as we look now at the battle for 5th place.
Yep, I talked about it earlier. Emma Carter wanted to get those spots back. One by one, she's going to get them. She only lost 2 from that checkup, but that doesn't mean she don't want those spots back, and maybe even more if she can get up there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this battle shapes up to be because we've got plenty of racing still to go in this race. A lot still to happen, but Roberto Crown Jr. is just enjoying a Sunday drive right now out in front. His lead over Jeffrey Finguy is about 0.2 a second because Finguy's gaining on him every yard, it seems, as he dives to the inside of the 81. Let's see if this move sticks.
Yeah, it's well, it didn't really stick, obviously, but keeps trying, especially once we get through the cycle and get fresh tires. Unless he's the one who cycles to the lead after that round of stops, then he might actually be able to do something with fresh rubber.
But for now, they're on the rubber they started the race with, and as they come off turn 4 to complete lap number 18, it is going to be Roberto Crown Jr. once again out in front. So Finguy's got to do something different to the 81 to try and make track position possible. Because right now, he's going nowhere, and he's got Nick Ortiz right on his bumper, battling with him for 2nd place, and A.J. Jones starting to claw his way up as well.
Yeah, these two get side by side. Jones might be able to sneak by, at least get 3rd, maybe 2nd, but we'll have to find out and see because, that 31, really strong in the early stages.
Yeah, great run for the rookie. He's the highest running rookie at a race right now in 4th place, and he's doing a great job. He's running ahead of his veteran teammate Duke Anzac, so he's trying to equal or better that team's best result of the season, which came with Chris Lattimore, I believe, at Atlanta, where he came home 4th. So let's see if A.J. Jones can repeat the trick or even do better here at Denver Motorsports Park. But he's trying to take a look on Finguy and Ortiz as they battle side by side for 2nd.
It's just a matter of which way to go, which way is best move. But if he waits too long, he'll lose the spot that he gained from Emma Carter earlier. Well, he'll lose it to her. But I don't know. This is getting exciting right here.
Yeah, coming through 3 and 4 to complete lap 20, and Ortiz does clear the 92 for 2nd. But look at the gap Roberto Crown Jr. has pulled on all of them in their fighting for 2nd spot. Crown has built a 3/4 of a second lead already, and we're coming up on pit stop soon. So if Crown can maintain this lead or maybe even extend it, this could be dangerous going forward.
Dangerous as if these guys keep fighting, because they keep fighting. That's just going to allow Crown to drive away, and he's already got a really good car. It's just the side-by-side fighting just makes it better for him.
Coming through 3 and 4 now on lap 21. It looks like they're starting to pit here on the 21st lap. Ortiz pits. Crown's coming in. Finguy stays on the racetrack, but it looks like everybody else is coming to pit road.
Yeah, you see it right there. You see a few different drivers that we haven't really talked about much starting to pit as well. They see what the leaders are doing. They hope that the undercut will work and they'll be able to gain some spots here.
Will be interesting to see because Finguy stayed out, as did Mark Davey and William Brock. A couple others did as well. But these leaders are all pitting, and don't forget, it's a bit of a staggered pit lane here. So that's where Roberto Crown Jr. is situated. He now exits his pit, and he's got a great shot at exiting the pits with the lead, or at least a sniff of it, because Ortiz is still sitting in his pit, still sitting. Now he exits, but he's got nothing for the 81, who comes out ahead of all those drivers. But now, here comes everybody else to pit road. Let's see where these guys cycle out.
Yes, here, Finguy, Davey. I saw Vargas. You see Cam Cole from the back of the field, and everybody else here just getting their stop in and hoping the undercut doesn't really kill their chances.
But here comes Roberto Crown Jr. up to speed now through 3 and 4 on lap 23. Let's see where these guys cycle each other out now on this round of pit stops. Crown Right now, he's not being shown as the leader. That's Jeffrey Finguy, but we'll see where it all cycles out because there's Finguy exiting the pits right now. He'll be credited with leading that lap as well. But let's see where Roberto Crown Jr. cycles back out. We're looking for him. There he comes through 1 and 2, and he should easily clear the 92 through turn 2.
No contest. Yeah, definitely no contest here. He zips by, and I don't think Finguy's even going to have anything for him right now, unless once he gets up to speed, he can gather something up and take advantage of having a lap fresher tires.
But I don't know if he's going to get the chance because here comes Ortiz and AJ Jones battling for the second spot, and they're going to easily swoop around the 92, who's still getting up to speed. So put the 91 up to second and the 31 up to third. Let's see where Roberto Crown Jr. cycles out. He's got a 3-second lead already.
Yeah, the undercut certainly did its job, and that's exactly what Roberto Crown Jr. wanted to see. Ortiz and Jones as well, even though they'd rather be up there in the front fighting Crown, if not running away from him with the lead.
But maybe there's still time in this race. We're just about to hit the halfway mark in this race, so we'll see what happens. But right now, Crown's got a very healthy lead of just over 3 seconds to deal with, to work with for the rest of this race. Roberto Crown Jr., he's been in this position before. He knows what the struggle is like, and we'll see what the gap is at the line now. He gained a little bit, did Nick Ortiz, but I don't think that's going to be enough before the next pit stop cycle.
Yeah, and if Crown undercuts again and the strategy stays like it is and it works, yeah, I think we could say Crown will be gone, but we still got some time left to watch and see.
We're just about to take halfway this time, and look at this battle. This group of cars back here from 8th back to about 18th. Look at them all scrambling for every position they can get on the racetrack. They're dipping and diving on each other for every position they can get. This is some brilliant racing further back in the pack.
Yeah, and you saw it there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the 12 of Ben McDonald there. He started 18th, and he's up there in the top 10 now from that strategy. And look back here, see his teammate Henry Thomas doing good here toward the midfield, but a lot of good racing going on. You don't have to watch the race for the lead, especially since that's really not a battle at the moment, but there's a lot of good racing further back.
Although Nick Ortiz did gain a 1/4 second that last lap, so he's definitely gaining time on the 81 as Finguy now tries to get a run on the rookie AJ Jones with his 1 lap fresher tires. But let's see what the gap is at the line this time around. Ortiz got the gap down by another 10th. He's doing a good job. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough by the time that they hit pit road for the final time with about 10 laps to go, but it's a great start.
Oh, absolutely. It's looking real good for them. Sorry, stumbling on my words. Looking back there, looking through the field, Ortiz really wants to have another shot here, but we all know how determined Crown is.
Yeah, he's been in this position before. He knows how close it's come to victory. Remember Auto Club, a track very similar to this, earlier in the season. He led coming to the white flag before Sam Denotto stole it from him on a last lap pass. So he knows what it's like, and he just put another 3/10 out of Ortiz on that lap. You see, Emma Carter now holds the fastest lap of the race. Crown just ran a personal best, and that allows him to grow his lead back up to about 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's got a rhythm. He's not feeling a whole lot of pressure, but he's still doing his thing, doing what he needs to do. And he is doing everything he can to make sure that Ortiz stays back there so that on the next cycle, if he doesn't undercut again, which I would expect him to, maybe that lead will be even bigger.
As now Emma Carter mounts a challenge on AJ Jones. This the fight for third, as Jeffrey Finguy now starts to drop back a little bit. He's now battling Lane Sanders side by side for 5th, but yeah, you see, Carter goes up the track again in that 70 car. That's going to cost her another load of time, as Sanders and Finguy both drive past. So I don't know what's up with that 70 machine, but regardless, it's going to be a challenge to get her back up to the front now.
Yeah, that's the second time that's happened, and I don't know, like I don't know what's going on with that 70, but I think it's just in certain points of the race, you get to the outside of somebody, and it just wants to snap loose and head for the wall, but thankfully she's been able to save it.
And now we only have 21 laps to go from Denver Motorsports Park. Roberto Crown Jr. starting to keep it. He's keeping the lead, but he was losing time to Nick Ortiz on that lap. It's down to 2.5 seconds now. I guess it's just a matter of wait and see for what happens from here on out, because Ortiz is gaining time. I just don't think it's going to be enough by the time the pit stop cycle around once again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a miracle to see him gain a ton of time. And you see right now, though, we got a battle right here. AJ Jones, Lane Sanders, with Emma Carter out of the picture for them for the moment. This is between them for third.
And Ortiz lost 2/10 on that lap, so he's just losing time again to the 81. But this is a great battle for third. Jones and Sanders. AJ Jones looking for a career best finish. Lane Sanders looking to better his position from 1 year ago. This is a great battle, and now we're looking further back, and we got a big train of cars once again, this time from 9th back to about 14th in this race. And they're all jockeying for a position to get us those final two or three spots in the top 10.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see some faces I wasn't seeing earlier in this. Of course, we see Duke Anzac trying to get back into the picture. You see Mark Davey, JD Martin in there, Sam Donato, and I believe I'm seeing. I'm trying to figure out who all I'm seeing here, but there's quite a few. Eric Monaco, that's who I was thinking of. I believe he's getting up in here as well after starting back in the field.
Absolutely. Eric Monaco doing a great job driving through the field. He is making some gains through the field, and he's knocking on the door of a spot in the top 10. We'll see what happens from now to the end of the race. But back up at the front, we've got a 5-car battle for third once again between Sanders, Jones, Carter, Brock, and Finguy. Finguy's dropped all the way back to 7th spot now. That's a bit surprising for the 92, who was showing some good pace earlier on in the race.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would consider Sanders part of that battle too much, although he hasn't exactly gotten away as Emma Carter is once again regaining the spots that she lost.
If you're in the vicinity of this battle, you're in this battle, because Sanders is doing whatever he can to hold off those 4 cars behind him, and he's doing a good job of it right now, but it's just a matter of timing for these guys. We still have one more round of pit stops to complete, and it's just a matter of what can they do at this point to catch Roberto Crown Jr. in this race. It's going to be interesting to see. We've got a lot of racing still to go. We're coming now to 17 laps to go.
And you're right. He's got to hold off some people, and right now it looks like that battle is spread out a little bit. It's not really doing much at the moment. It's almost like it's gotten cold for the moment. But we'll see. Is that Crown he's just on cruise right now.
Although Ortiz has dropped the gap again, it's down to 2.2 seconds between himself and Roberto Crown Jr. So he's gaining time. I just don't know if it's going to be enough before the pit stops. But if Ortiz gets the undercut on Crown, we could see something very big here as we make our way towards the end of this race. And we got trouble on the racetrack. We've got a caution out, and it looks like it's for JD Martin in the 66. No. Caution flies for the first time today here on lap 35. This is going to shake up the race, because now everybody's going to be able to pit on the yellow and make it to the end of this race in one fell swoop.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. We see the smoke and the tire marks, so that is unfortunate. And I guarantee Crown is just... he's pounding that steering wheel right now saying, why?
He's been in this situation before, too, and I have a feeling he's not a very happy man behind the wheel of that Sport Clips Toyota. But everybody's going to get a free pit stop here. We're going to come down pit road here, and with 15 laps to go, they can definitely make it the rest of the way. It's just a matter of, will these guys get it full of fuel this time around to ensure they can make it the distance? I'm not so sure if I'm sure some of these guys are going to try under fueling and hoping that the caution laps will be able to get them to the end, because this is a free stop on the yellow, and the caution laps will help them.
Oh, absolutely. This is gonna be real interesting to watch, because it's especially going to be important to watch and see what kind of strategies Ortiz, Sanders, Carter, what they all pull to see what happens here.
So they're in their pit boxes now, changing what I assume would be all 4 tires on these cars to get them to the end of the race. No, 2 tires for Nick Ortiz. He's going to get out ahead of Roberto Crown Jr. So that's going to shake up the running order a little bit. Ortiz to the lead on a 2-tire stop.
Third. Yeah, I just saw William Brock there. His strategy puts him in third, and I'm pretty sure I saw somebody else get out ahead of Sanders and Carter.
Now we get your replay of what happened to J.D. Martin to bring out the caution. So you can see he was running just outside the top 10 was J.D. Martin, and he's not really close to anybody to cause him some trouble. But he has a problem with that car, either a flat tire or a skipped gear, whatever it is. He's slowing dramatically on this racetrack, and then there's just no room for Daniel Bouchard, and he clips the back of the 66, sending him into a little spin. This is an unfortunate circumstance for J.D. Martin. His future is in question at Robbers Racing. We know Joshua Michaels is going to that team next season. The question is, will Joshua be driving a third entry, or if Martin's performances continue to falter, will he be driving the 66 instead?
That's something that's going to be remain to be seen, is all the struggles that he's having. Well, it's just unfortunate.
But it looks like they're going to put fresh tires on that 66 and send them back out there. We'll see if he can pull it together for the rest of this race. He's going 2 laps down now in the 66, so he obviously won't be in contention for the win, but it's just an unfortunate situation for J.D. Martin. He was doing a great job running just outside the top 10, but now he's going to fall quite a ways back. But we are under caution for the first time today here at the Denver Motorsports Park. Nick Ortiz is your leader on the strength of a 2-tire pit stop. Roberto Crown Jr., I believe, did the same. I believe, actually, most of the field went with only 2 tires, because they got enough. I think they've got enough fuel to make it the rest of the way, right?
One would think so. This top 10 running order has certainly shuffled from this. You got Ortiz in the lead, Crown back to second, William Brock, Ben McDonald, Miles Mashburn. He's been hanging around the back half of the top 10 most of the day. Emma Carter slipped a little bit here, and then AJ Jones, Lane Sanders. It's going to be real interesting to see. And I just saw Anderson Reed up here now. He's been about mid-pack, and this could really help him out.
Yeah, Anderson Reed's in the middle of a battle for the final playoff spot right now, so he needs all the points he can get in that 5 machine, and he's doing a fantastic job making his way up to 10th, avoiding all the trouble that has befallen the guys around him. J.D. Martin is back on the racetrack, although he is 2 laps down, but it shows him 1 lap down, but they've already lapped him a second time in the time it took for the scoring to update. So he will be 2 laps off the pace, and I would expect us to come to the restart in about a lap's time, because the lights should go out on the pace car once they get to the start finish line now.
And they want to get back to racing. I know Crown wants to get back by, and
we're waiting for the start finish line.
Right, there it is.
Yep, and the lights are out.
Go.
So we will have 12 laps to decide the outcome. And here's J.D. Martin coming up to take his place at the front of the field on the inside lane. He's the only car 1 lap down, so he has the right to do this. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep pace with all that damage. I think he should be okay, especially now that they've fixed the problem in the motor. But if he can keep pace, that's going to be bad news for Roberto Crown Jr. behind him.
Yeah, and I just couldn't help but think as he was driving by, we saw our buddy Zachary Fitzwater there. I'm pretty sure he was happy to see that there's now a lap car in play.
Even though he's not really close to the fight for the front of the field, I'm sure he's just just thrilled about that, I'm sure. But coming down the back straightaway, we got 13 laps to go. It'll be 12 to go when they get to the start-finish line. This is going to be quite the restart, because Ortiz is going to have to defend with all his might to keep Roberto Crown Jr. at bay. And let's not forget the newcomers at the front of the field. Brock, McDonald, and Mashburn. We haven't seen what they can do yet at the front of the field. Maybe they can provide some action as we get to the end of this race.
Yeah, and this could be interesting because it's been Ortiz and Crown this whole time. Well, with Finn Guy trying to spoil the party a little bit, but if Brock and or McDonald can get by, or even Mashburn, and just steal this one from these two who thought it could be them, well, that could certainly play an interesting factor.
Pace cars off. The field is in the hands of Nick Ortiz and JD Martin heading into the restart zone. Green flag back out, and again they start to fan out quite a bit before they even get to the line. But it's Ortiz who has the lead at the moment, and it looks like JD Martin actually does have some pace in that 66. He's going to settle in right behind Nick Ortiz. That is bad news for Roberto Crown Jr., who is stuck behind the 66. Now Nick Ortiz has a buffer.
Yeah, I can guarantee he wants to send that 66 sliding to the side or something, but he's just going to have to bide his time and figure out something and hope the 72 of Mashburn doesn't try to capitalize on his predicament.
Oh, we got 3 cars up the racetrack. Lane Sanders, Anderson Reed into the wall. Aaron Hall right behind him. Reed's going to lose a ton of time. Sanders going to lose a lot of positions, but Anderson Reed's going to fall from 10th on the restart all the way back to 40th.
That, I have no idea what just happened, but that was very unfortunate. 3 cars all at once, and we had to... All we had to do was mention once something about Anderson Reed, and I'm sure it would have happened whether we said anything or not, but that's just very unfortunate for him and Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders now falls back to about 16th, 17th place at the moment, and Roberto Crown Jr. is just trying to muscle his way past J.D. Martin, who's got no rear end on that machine. Crown is just doing whatever he can to get by, because now we only have 10 laps to go, 22 miles to settle this race here at Denver.
And even with I will say though, even with that wounded 66 in his way as he finally gets to the inside of Martin, he didn't really lose a whole lot of time to Ortiz, so he's still got a shot.
He's got a shot, but he's got to get by the 66 in a very short amount of time. And there goes JD Martin to the top of the racetrack. Now Buddy surges back alongside the 81. Martin, this is not what Roberto Crown Jr. expected nor wanted to see, because JD Martin is fighting like crazy to stay close within striking distance of the leaders here. I don't know what is going through the mind of that 66 driver.
He's thinking, keep it on the track. Keep it on the track. He don't care about the fight around him. Although I'm sure Crown is wishing that there was some excuse for JD Martin to be black flagged or something, but he's up to speed, so I don't really think there's anything the officials can do unless he starts dropping a lot of debris from that damage.
And he's not right as of this point. So, and Martin's going to try and get one of his laps back. He's going to go to the outside of Ortiz, but I think Nick has him covered. So coming off of turn 4 to 8 laps to go, Crown is losing time in bucket loads here. Let's see what the gap is at the line. Just about half a second. So Crown needs to get by the 66 in as short a time as possible. Otherwise, this is Nick Ortiz's race to lose.
And the thing that's even more frustrating for Roberto Crown Jr. is he is looking at the car that pretty much, through no fault of the driver's own, caused that caution that is costing him big time here. And I guarantee that if he can't get by and doesn't even end up with an actual legitimate shot to get to Ortiz and do something about him, he is going to be very angry and probably going and having a talk with the 66 team.
But right now, it is Nick Ortiz out in front of the field with 7 laps to go from Denver Motorsports Park. Nick Ortiz looking for his first win on an intermediate oval. He's got 2 on a road course and 1 on the short track at North Wilkesboro, but this would be his first win on the big tracks. And That would be something very special to him, I'm sure, if he could hang on to win this race. But Roberto Crown Jr., he's just looking for his first win at any racetrack in the 1UP Superstar Series, and I think Crown feels that supersedes Ortiz's desire to win on a big track.
It does, but he's kind of. Well, you talk about Roberts Racing, and we got a bit of a sandwich going on here with Crown as the meat. That's not what he wanted to see. A wounded one, such car in front of him, and a strong one behind him. Now he's going to try once again to get by the 66.
Yeah, and I think this time, Martin's going to have to realize that the fight is not with this 81 team. He just needs to get clear out of the way at this point, and especially not impact his teammate, who's directly behind. So Crown does finally clear the 66 down the back straightaway, but now he's only going to have 5.5 laps to try and chase down Martin, and chase down Ortiz, and that is going to be a big challenge for the remainder of this race here. And whoa, we got contact between teammates. Mashburn sends Martin up the racetrack and into the wall. Martin loses a ton of momentum. That is going to be a very interesting team meeting at Roberts Racing after this. We have 5 laps to go, but I'm not so sure. I don't know what happened there, because Mashburn just lost a spot to William Brock, and he might lose another to Ben McDonald here.
All right, I want to say it. That's a teammate. But anyway, getting back to this. It looks like Crown is finally starting to gain just a little bit here, but he's really got to put some work in to make up for all the ground he lost fighting that 66.
He's got to gain about 1/10 of a second per lap if he's going to have a chance to get to Nick Ortiz, and that's just to catch him. He needs to make a pass, and that's easier said than done as well. So this is going to be a very uphill battle for Roberto Crown Jr. if he's going to get that first career win. 4 laps to go at the line.
And he didn't really gain a whole lot there. That just like a 100th there, but he is chipping slowly. And if he can get a little bit of a draft off of the 93 behind him, maybe, just maybe, he has a chance still.
As they head down the back straightaway, they're coming to 3 laps to go. This looks like it's going to be a 3-car battle between Ortiz, Crown, and Brock for this race win. Ford, Toyota, Dodge battling it out for this race win. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens between now and the rest of this race as Ortiz powers down the front straightaway to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and Crown gained a little bit more there. Let's see. Oh, he gained 3/10 that time. Having that 93 behind him has helped, but if Brock goes to the inside of him, it may be all over for both of them.
Yeah, and Nick Ortiz is just begging for them to start fighting, or at least something to happen to allow his lead to extend, because Crown now all over the back bumper of the 91, trying to pressure him into a mistake of some sort. We're coming to 2 laps to go. I'm not so sure a mistake is coming, but Ortiz gives the top lane to Roberto Crown Jr. Ortiz is starting to slow. He's coming to pit lane. They didn't fuel it enough.
Oh, no.
They didn't fuel it enough for Nick Ortiz, and he's going to be out of contention. After leading 18 laps of this race, Nick Ortiz is going to be done for in this race. Now, Roberto Crown Jr. has just been given a gift basket, but he's got to hold off William Brock for 2 more laps.
I wouldn't say the gift basket's in his hand yet, like you were talking about, because Brock being right behind him, he might be getting ready to try to steal that basket away, but we'll see. It looks like everybody's settled out pretty well in the behind them. This is where we need to focus.
And Chris Lattimore also made a pit stop, as did Anderson Reed. But that's not going to matter too much to Roberto Crown Jr. because now he's only 2.2 miles from his maiden win in the 1UP Superstar Series. Reed down pit road. Lattimore coming out. White flag in the air. We've got 1 to go from Denver.
And he's extended that lead. So he's got to be hearing all kinds of things going wrong in that car that aren't actually going wrong. You hear about it from people looking for their first victory. Oh, the engine's sputtering. It's doing this. It's doing that. Spotter and True Chief telling them, calm down. You're fine. You're fine. You see, they're definitely fine as they clear Lattimore without issues. So and Brock doesn't look like he's going to have anything for him.
71 races. Roberto Crown Jr. has been trying desperately to get that first career win. He's got it now, off of 4 for the final time. It's Roberto Crown Jr. at long last getting that first career victory, and he does it at Denver Motorsports Park in a dominating drive that saw him lead 33 laps today. A fantastic drive from Crown to get 30 laps in this race. Crown led, and he will savor that first career win like no one's business. He in a 71st try, Roberto Crown Jr. gets it done at long last. That is something we've been waiting for a long time, and it's finally come here today. William Brock gave it his best in a race that he wasn't even favored for, but he'll gladly take a second place. Ben McDonnell completes the podium in 3rd. That'll pad his points lead a little bit. Miles Mashburn 4th, and A.J. Jones gets the first top 5 of his career in 5th. Emma Carter 7th, just behind Henry Thomas, who gets his first top 10 of a part-time season in 6th. Christian Vargas, Jeffrey Finguy, and Sam Denoto complete the top 10 at the end of this one. But in a race that saw Nick Ortiz sputter, run out of fuel, blow a tire, whatever it may be, that caused him to drop to pit lane, regardless, that opened the door, and Roberto Crown Jr. surged through it to get that first career win today.
That is big, and I will say this, there's going to be a huge party. It's probably already started at the King's Motorsports shops, so this is going to be something to celebrate for sure, and it is going to last for a long time. And he won this race. He got it. It can't be taken away from him, so congratulations to Roberto Crown Jr. on finally, after so many races of heartbreak, no heartbreak today.
Quite the opposite. He's probably overjoyed at the sight of this race win. But that is going to do it for us today at Denver Motorsports Park. And the heartbreak this time goes out to Nick Ortiz, who led 18 laps of this race, will finish 38th, last car on the lead lap as a result. But that'll do it for us for today. From James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye from the Denver Motorsports Park. We'll see you all again here in the fall for a road course race in the playoffs, but next time up, it's another road course race up north of the border at Road 1 International. It's going to be a lot of fun to see the drivers navigate that beast of a racetrack for the first time. But so long from Denver Motorsports Park from us here at TRN. Congratulations to Roberto Crown Jr. in his 71st time of asking. He finally gets that long-awaited first Superstar Series win.